Assalamu alaikum dear students, hope all of you will be fine and doing well. I'm your science teacher with summary lecture of Zoom online class of level 4. Dear students, in the previous lecture we studied about the 7 characteristics of living things which make them different from the non-living things. What are these characteristics? Number 1, all living things need food. Number 2, all living things respire. Number 3, all living things can move by themselves. Number 4, all living things have sensitivity. Number 5, all living things can reproduce. Number 6, all living things can excrete. Number 7, all living things can grow. Now students, today we will study that how living things are dependent on each other. As you know that for the survival of living things, all living things need air, water, food and minerals. They get all these things from each other. Living things is basically divided into two groups, animals and plants. Both plants and animals are dependent on each other for life. How they are dependent on each other? As you know that plants are the producers. Plants are the producers. Producers are the living things which make their own food. How plants can make their own food? Plants can make their own food by a process called photosynthesis. Plants are producers can make their own food by a process called photosynthesis. What is the process of photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is the process in which plants make their food by using carbon dioxide gas, water, and the presence of sunlight energy. So, the plants can get the carbon dioxide gas from the animals. And animals can produce the carbon dioxide gas during the process of respiration and can exhale them from the body, which is used by the plants during the process of photosynthesis. Plants can also need a manure for the growth, and these manure is provided by the animals. What are manures? Manure are the excretions of animals which they can excrete from their body, and we can dug them into the soils which make the land fertile for the fertile for the plants. Animals are consumers. They cannot make their own food and are dependent on the plants for the food and oxygen. For the process of respiration, for the process of breathing, animals can need the oxygen which is provided by the plants. Plants can produce oxygen during the process of photosynthesis, and this oxygen is exhaled, is removed from the plants and is used by the animals. Animals cannot make their own food and are dependent on the plants for the food. Plants are the producers, can make their own food. Our next topic is the life cycle. What is cycle? Cycle is some things that happen over and over again. What is life cycle? Series of changes in the life of an organism is called the life cycle. Organism means living things. जितनी भी चेंजेस आती है ऑर्गेनिजम्स की लाइफ में उसको क्या कहते हैं? लाइफ साइकिल. All living things passes to various stages in their life. For example, life cycle of human, as we born as a baby, then we and goes in through a various stages in our life. We born as a baby and can grow as into a toddler, then we grow into a teenage, and then we become adult, and then we comes at the stage of the old. This series of changes in the life of living things is called the life cycle. Life cycle of fish. Most of the fish lay eggs, and the young ones, the babies, hatch out of the eggs and grow into fry. The young ones of the fish is called fry. Fry is the young ones of the fish which hatch out from the eggs, and this stage of the fish is called the larva stage. Then the fry grows into a juvenile fish. At that stage, the larva, the fry, have growth of feathers on their body, and then after a juvenile fish they can grow into an adult fish and can reproduce to lay eggs and produce a new fish are the young ones called fry. Life cycle of frog. Frog are amphibians. Amphibians are the vertebrate animals which lives both in water and on land. They have moist and slippery skin and lay eggs in water. Frogs lay tiny eggs in water and is covered by a protective shells, and this eggs of frog is called the spawn. The young ones called the tadpoles can grow or hatch out from the eggs. They look like a fish. They breathe through gills and have a tail. After some time, the tadpoles sprout out legs. They can grow their legs and then arms but still has a tail. At this stage, the tadpoles look like a frog. After this stage, the frogs are almost mature. They breathe through lungs but still have a tail, and this stage is called the froglet stage. After some time, a tail is disappear and the adult frog breathes with lungs and has no tail. The adult frog lay eggs and are reproduced to hatch the young ones. Life cycle of insects. Insects are invertebrate animals, have 6 number of legs and feels with an antenna. Some insects have 3 stages in their life cycles and other have the 4 stages. An insect have 3 stages in their life cycle. A grasshopper. Life cycle of grasshopper. Grasshopper lay eggs. The young ones hatch from the eggs, and at this stage the young ones of the grasshopper is called the nymph. It looks and behaves just like an adult cockroach. After some time it sheds its skin, and at this stage that it is called the molts, and the molts will grow into an adult grasshoppers which will further reproduce and can lay eggs. Life cycle of butterfly. Butterfly lay eggs on the leaf. They have 4 stages in their life cycle. Butterfly starts their life cycle inside a tiny eggs which are various in shape and colors and is so thin and covered by a tough shell for the protection. When larvae develop inside an egg, it cut the shells with its jaws and come out from the shell. At the larva stage of the butterfly, are the young ones of the butterfly is called the caterpillar. The young ones of the butterfly is called the caterpillar. After 2 to 5 weeks, caterpillar cover itself into a shell, silk shell, and at this stage is called the pupa. The shell in which a caterpillar covers itself is called cocoon. Cocoon is an envelope, often largely of silk, which an insect larva forms about itself and in which it passes the pupa stage. And the pupa stage of the butterfly is called chrysalis. After few weeks, an adult butterfly emerges from the shell. Life cycle of housefly. Housefly is an insect, have 4 stages in their life cycle. The young ones of housefly hatch out from the eggs. The young ones of housefly is called the maggot. Maggot is the larva stage of the housefly. After a few weeks, the maggot covers itself in a shell, which is called at this stage is called the pupa stage. When pupa open, the adult fly will come out from the shell, and it will reproduce when lay eggs from which the young ones will hatch out. Now this is your today lecture. Take care. Allah Hafiz.